afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Access Vision Game of the Week. And we have a dandy for you here today. Michigan High School District Baseball Playoff action. The Lakeview Spartans, round one, step one in their quest to return as state champions. They won last year's state championship right here in the city of Battle Creek. Now there's new faces and names in the lineup for Lakeview this year. A new coach in the dugout, but it's the same winning ways here at Lakeview High School. They come in today's game with a 22-6 record. Going for the trifecta as far as tournaments go this year. They already won the Cereal City Diamond Classic in April, the Battle Creek Central Invitational in May, and we are getting ready to start the districts right here. Frank Ballard steps in. Ready? Here's our first pitch of the ball game. Low for ball, 1 ball, no strikes on Frank. Ballard on the year hitting .350. He's the second baseman for Lakeview. That's in the dirt, ball 2. So 2-0 on Frank. Set that defense quickly for Delton. Dudley at third, West at short, Newington at second, and Stevens at first. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's ball 3 on Frank. Outfield is Pinks, Gilfillan, and Leo. Sharon behind the plate, and that's Bardot on the mound for Delton. There's the strike. 3-1 on the Lakeview second baseman. Here it comes. Inside, ball 4. So Ballard's on, and that'll bring up Tahara.
Well, that's not the way Delton wanted to start this game. Walking Lakeview's leadoff batter. They come in here as underdogs. They need to jump right off the bat and get off to a good start. It's not the way you want to start out.
Number 2 hitter, shortstop, number 6, Yo Tahara.
Batter will be Tahara for Lakeview. Yo, a versatile player. He's been moved to shortstop this year. Squares, takes it in the dirt. Quick throw to first, and back in time is Ballard. 1-0 on Tahara. Lakeview, usually very well coached, fundamentals of baseball. They like to bunt. Yo leads this team in getting hit by the pitch. Takes it for a ball, and the throw to second is not in time, as in with the stolen base is Frank Ballard.
The reason why he leads the team in base on balls due to being hit is because he crowds the plate so much. He's right on the chalk every time. He's been sawed off on the hands many times this year, and he's been hit 7 times.
So we're waiting on the 2-0 pitch. Yo squares, pulls it back, and takes it 3-0 now. So Bordeaux, having trouble finding the plate, walked Ballard, the leadoff man, on the 3-1, and is now 3-0 on Tahara. Second baseman trying to hold Ballard close, but Tahara takes it right down the middle for strike. 3-1 on Yo. Taking a look down at third base coach Roth. 3-1 pitch, squares, bunts it down the third baseline, and this is a good one, and they're never going to get him. Base hit for Tahara. A beautiful bunt single. You couldn't have rolled it out there any better than that, barehanded. Perfectly placed. Puts runners at the corners for the Spartans. Nobody out. And Mike Lozier, the all-conference center fielder, stepping in. Mike batting .455 on the year.
Center fielder, number 11, Mike Lozier.
That leads the team, as does his 4 triples and 9 doubles. First pitch to Mike. He squares, takes it in the dirt. Good stop there by the catcher, Sharon. 1-0 on Mike Lozier. Mike, a very good athlete. Probably the ace of the mountain. Time is called for Delton. Coach Sharon running out. Going to have a confab there with his pitcher. Sitting alongside me today as my color man is the former slick fielding shortstop for the Bearcats, Keith Eichelson. Keith, on paper, it looks like Central Lakeview should have an easy game of it today, coming in with a 22-6 record, but and Delton with only 9 wins, but you never know here in the districts, do you?
No, Delton's pitcher is getting off to kind of a rocky start, but if he ever settles down and pitches a great game in Lakeview, makes a couple of key errors, this could be a cliffhanger for Lakeview, and it could go either way.
All right, Lozier looking for that 1-0 pitch, swings and hits one on the ground into left field. Base hit for Lozier. Tahara coming around third, and he is going to score. And down to second will go Lozier on the 2-run single, and right off the bat, the Spartans jump on top, 2-0. 2 runs batted in for Lozier on the solid base hit to left.
Hey, Brian, let's go now.
And that's what you want to do, put that underdog in the hole in a hurry. Still nobody out for Lakeview, and they have another runner in scoring position.
Brian Blanchard.
Pitcher Brian Blanchard now batting for the Spartans. He bats from the left side. Takes it inside and low, 1-0 on Brian. Brian on the year batting .293. He slugged 3 home runs, including a game winner a couple weeks back. There's a high pop-up on the infield. First baseman is calling for it. Looking up in the clouds and makes the catch. So Blanchard's out. Was not able to move Lozier over to third. And the batter now will be
number
Berner.
19, first baseman Calvin Berner.
Calvin, the big first baseman, leads this team with home runs. He has 4 on the year. Big, strong, right-handed batter. Turn to throw to second, and it's in the center field. And Lozier will have to stay right there. Ooh, that was close. Certainly a bad throw, but Mike had slipped trying to get back, and if that throw would have been on the money, I think he would have been in trouble. There's already been a game played out here today, Gull Lake and Plainwell. We've had a lot of rain, several rain delays, lightning delays, and that diamond has taken a lot of water. Certainly playable, but you're going to see some slippage out there. Curveball in there. Good pitch there by Bordeaux. Strike 1 on Berner. Runner at second, 1 out for Lakeview. 2 runs in. We're in the first. Turn and another throw to second, and Lozier's back standing up. Got to keep an eye on Mike. He has the speed to steal third. With 1 out here, that might be the time to try it. We'll have to watch what Coth Ross does. Up high, 1-1. Roth, first-year coach here for Lakeview, taking over for the incomparable Butch Perry, but he's done a great job so far. The 1-1 pitch swung on, popped up in between the mound and third, and the pitcher gloves it for the out. Good play there by the pitcher, Bordeaux. He had to run back, and I tell you, going back, that third baseman shortstop coming in, that can be kind of scary. Good play.
It's a great play by the
Third
pitcher.
baseman
You
number
go over
2,
the top of that hill.
Dusty Edgell.
If you've never pitched, you wouldn't know. But if you've pitched, you know, running over up and down that hill, you can lose sight of the ball. Great catch. Never took the eye off the ball. Squeezed it.
Edgell stepping in for Lakeview. He checks, not in time. He goes around. That pitch in the dirt. Strike 1 on Dusty Edgell. Dusty in the dirt, stopped by the catcher. Here's a no throw to third. Catcher Sheeran blocked it out in front down the first baseline. Lozier got the good jump going towards third from second and made it without a throw. So now he's at third with 2 outs. And Edgell with a chance to deliver another run. And he's hit by the pitch. So it's not Yo this time, it's Dusty Edgell, and he'll go down to first. So once again, runners at the corners for the Spartans. I think that was a curveball, and Dusty will take that. You take a curveball on the outside of the arm there. Take one for the team.
Oh, yeah.
Now batting for the Spartans, left fielder number 23, John Drakakis.
Here's John Drakakis. He's been brought up in the JV recently. Sophomore doing a fine job for the Spartans. turn, look to third and a look to first. Everybody stays put.
It's usually what happens on that play. Everybody tries, it never works.
There goes the runner. No, he stays. His ground ball hit the second, picked up there by the second baseman, over to first, and that retires the side for the
For the
Spartans.
Spartans, 2 runs on 2 hits.
Lakeview gets 2 runs and 2
men left
hits.
on base.
They leave a couple. We'll go to the bottom of the first to score.
Sharon
Lakeview
West,
2,
Gilfield.
Delton coming to bat. Ole will get them starting lineup set for you. Lakeview, starting lineup is Frank Ballard at second base. Yo Tahara bats second at short. Mike Lozier is the center fielder. Blanchard, the pitcher, bats fourth for Lakeview. Calvin Berners, the big first baseman, bats fifth. Dusty Edgel bats sixth at third. John Drakakis, who just made the last out last inning. The left fielder bats seventh. Jay Tack, the catcher, bats eighth. Chris Beck, the right fielder, bats ninth. For Delton Kellogg, it's J.T. Sharon. He leads off. He's the catcher. Jamie West, shortstop for Delton, bats second. Gilfillan, the center fielder's, bats third. Stevens, the first baseman, bats fourth. Garcia is the DH. He DHs for the second baseman. He bats fifth. Jared Leo is the right fielder, batting sixth. Bordeaux, the pitcher, bats seventh. Zach Dudley, the third baseman, bats eighth. And Aaron Pinks is in left field and batting ninth. Set that defense for you for Lakeview. First baseman, the big home run man Calvin Berner. At second, Frank Ballard. Shortstop, Yo Tahara. Third baseman is Dusty Edgel. In left field, Drakakis. Center fielder, the all-conference star here for Lakeview, Mike Lozier. And that's Chris Beck out there in right field. Behind the plate today is Jay Tack. And on the mound, the crafty lefty, Brian Blanchard. Brian done with his tune-up tosses here. Ready to start this bottom of the first, and it'll be Sharon, West, and Gilfillan. Sharon.
Leading off for the Panthers in the bottom of the first. Catcher, J.T. Sharon.
Sharon, the catcher, good speed from behind the plate. Don't usually see your leadoff man being your catcher, but that's the case here for Delton. Just missed outside 1-0 on JT. Here it comes. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Blanchard getting the nod for game 1 here at the districts. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Strike call. Good pitch there by Brian. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sharon.
Great job by Blanchard to get ahead of the batter. You'd love to work ahead, especially when you're the favorite. Let your defense take care of you.
There's the 1-2 pitch, swung on, hit on the ground toward Tahar at short. He bobbles it, throws it to first, in time. Bernard with a good stretch. 1 up and 1 away for Delton. Good job by Tahara staying with that. Kind of got an in-between hop there. Yo stayed with it, gunned him down.
Now batting shortstop, Jamie West.
Batter is West. Jamie leads this team in most offensive categories. Takes it low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes on the Delton shortstop. Here's the 1-0 coming. And that's in the dirt ball, too. Well, West may be the ace of the mound for Delton, but he is so valuable out there at shortstop that the Delton coach, head coach Sharon, just hates to take him out of the middle of that infield. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in there. Good pitch there by Brian. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lakeview on top, 2-0. We're in the first. 1 out, nobody on for Delton Kellogg. Here it comes. Swung on, grounded foul down the third base line. On deck, batter Gilfillan. Picks it up, tosses it back to the umpire. So 2-2 now on West. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit down the third baseline, foul.
Good job by West to fight off that outside pitch. Try and get a good pitch to hit and get this inning going for Delton.
Ryan's ready to go to work. Here it comes. Strike 3 call. Blanchard bent over a curveball, and West is called out on strikes.
Nice backdoor by Blanchard. I think the batter gave up on that. Looked outside and high, and I timed across the plate. It was a good-looking pitch. Great pitch by Blanchard, and they got 2 away.
Gilfillan, the center fielder, steps in. Strike call. So Brian, after falling behind 2-0 on the second batter, has thrown nothing but strikes since then. That is 5 strikes, 6 in a row now by Brian Blanchard. Here's the 0-1. That's in the dirt. Gilfillan holds off. Count goes 1-1. A lot of senior leadership on this team for Lakeview. Not all of them started last year. Certainly the Spartans had a number of seniors that graduated after that state championship and went on, but they've got a lot of players that have some experience at the high school level. There's one hit foul down the third base side. Picked up there by Edgell in foul territory. So count goes 1-2 on the Delton center fielder. In fact, you look out there, and basically it's just one starter. It's in the same position as he were last year. Swing and a miss. Down goes Gilfillan, and down go the Panthers. 1-2-3 at the end of 1. It's Lakeview 2, Panthers nothing.
2 up for the Spartans. Leading off for the Spartans in the top of the second. Catcher, Jay Tack.
So here's Tack stepping in for the Spartans. Takes one inside, ball 1. Jay, the Lakeview catcher, will be followed by Chris Beck, and then to the top of the order, Frank Ballard. Second pitch, low, so it's 2-0 on Tack. Well, Bordeaux of Delton had control problems early in that first inning, and it cost him a couple runs. And that's inside, ball 3 on Jay Tack. This is the second game today. Gull Lake sent Plainwell home for an early summer vacation, 9-3 in the first round, and there's Tack down to first base with a walk. So 4 bad ones in a row. Jay is awarded first base, and it'll be Chris Beck.
Running for the catcher, Ricky Damon. Now batting right fielder number 12, Chris Beck.
Ricky Damon will be the courtesy runner for the catcher. Chris Beck, the right fielder, steps in with a .260 batting average. Damon stays at first, and Beck takes the strike. Have to keep an eye on Ricky down there. And the courtesy runner, you get the idea that he can run, and there he goes. Beck lays one down the first base line, and this is a good one. And he is out at first, and here on the way to third is Damon, and he's going to be out there also. Well, give Delton credit. That was a good play on both ends.
Just when I thought Delton was going to start the second, just like they did the first, they pull off a double play, and a strange one, if indeed. I thought they might have runners on the corners. Ended up both of them are out. So great start for the second inning for Delton.
That was a good bunt, no question
Second
about
baseman,
that.
Frankie Ballard.
But good play by the pitcher to get the batter back. There's a strike to Ballard, and then heads-up play by the first baseman, Stevens, to fire over to Dudley to nip Ricky Damon, trying to go all the way from first to third. The strike one pitch, Ballard swings, hits it in the left field for a base hit. Boy, how many times do you see that? A double play to put 2 outs and nobody on, the next batter cranks a hit to the outfield. Give Beck a sacrifice on that play earlier, even though it's a double play. And the Spartans have a runner at
Now
first
batting
with 2 outs.
shortstop, number 6, Yo Tahara.
And the batter is Tahara. Tahara had a beautiful bunt single back in the first. He scored one of the 2 Lakeview runs. Turn to throw to first. Boy, that was closer than what it needed to be. What you thought it was going to be, only because of the throw being right on the bag there. Good throw there by the pitcher. And there goes Ballard to second. The throw's in the dirt, and Ballard's in the second base with the stolen base. Ballard got a good jump. He's got good wheels, and he had it beat rather easily. So another runner in scoring position for Lakeview. Tahara, good bat control. Don't let his smallness of stature fool you. He can drive it to the outfield. Ballard off second, but they're holding him close. High, ball 2. 2-0 on Yo.
Well, there's a potential problem there for Delton. The second baseman is right on second base, and he's not bouncing off. There's a big hole on the right side. If Tahara can punch it through, it's going to score a run.
Strike. Good curveball there from Bordeaux. And it looks like the sun might be trying to break out. We have had rain and lightning delays all day long. Shortstop now trying to keep Ballard close to second. There's one hit down the third base line, and it kicks foul right at the last minute. And boy, they weren't going to get Tahara at first. Ballard, heads up play, staying at second. All he could have done there was run his team into the third out of the inning. But the ball kicked foul, and we'll do it again. Two balls, 2 strikes now on Yo. Bordeaux looking in for a sign from Sharon. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Good stop there by Sharon.
Come on, Yo.
So full count now to the Lakeview shortstop. Here it comes. Yo swings and nubs one towards the shortstop. This is going to be a tough play, and he's not even going to let one go. Another infield hit for Tahara. That grass is wet, and it slows that ball down, and he didn't get a real big piece of it, and the shortstop wisely held on. He wasn't going to get Yo at first base. Once again, runners at the corners for Lakeview.
Center fielder Mike Lozier.
Mike Lozier steps in. He had a 2-run single back in the first. And we'll keep an eye on Tahara down at first base, and he'll stay right there as the pitcher fakes to first and then third that time. Kind of a different looking play. Yo stays there, and Lozier's hit by the pitch. So that is the second hits batsman by Bordeaux, and bases are loaded here for Lakeview. They've actually had 4 base runners this inning. 4 base runners and a perfectly placed bunt. You would think it would add up to some runs, but it hasn't so far.
Now batting the pitcher, Brian Blanchard.
Here's Blanchard. He popped to first in the first. Chance to really help his own cause right here. Batting with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the second, and he lays off the outside curveball, 1-0.
The Delton pitcher's got nowhere to put him, so he'll eventually get something good to hit.
Here it comes, swings and hits it foul down the first baseline. 1-1 now on Brian. This is a key moment in the game for both teams. Delton, the underdog, wants to hang close, and Brian can deliver here. Low, ball 2. Get that underdog, and watch that. The throw is, gets away from the pitcher, and in comes Ballard to score. Good heads-up play by Ballard as Sharon's throw back to the mound was a little high. Bordeaux not able to pull it down, and a run in for the Spartans. 3-0 now, Lakeview.
Now that was a bad throw by the catcher, but the second baseman or the shortstop needs to be backing up on every throw there. That could have stopped that run. but that's a big play in the ball game. Now it gives Lakeview a 3-0 lead.
Good point there, Keith. You see them teams, the second baseman, shortstops are constantly backing up that pitcher on that pitch. There's a fly ball hit to center. Center fielder Gilfillan has a beat on it and gloves it for the out. So 1 run in for Lakeview. We go to the bottom of the second to score. Lakeview 3, Delton nothing.
For the Spartans, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 men left on base. 2 up.
Oh, 1 ball, no strikes. Kind of a strange inning in the top of the inning for Lakeview. They had a walk, a hits batsman, 2 singles, and ended up scoring only 1 run, and it was an unearned run at that. Here's a foul ball back this way. 1 ball, 1 strike on Stevens.
Well, what Delton's got to realize is they're the underdog. They need to do all the little things and play a great game if they want to have a chance to win this thing. They didn't back up the pitcher on that throw back, and it cost them a run.
Here's the 1-1 outside, 2-1 now on Stevens.
And as it turns out, the bases were loaded that inning. They would have worked out of it with no runs, but that one mental lapse cost them.
Sometimes that's all it takes. There's one up high. Blanchard trying to come with the fast one, but up too high. 3 balls, 1 strike now on Stevens. And the last thing Brian wants to do here is walk him. He's got a 3-run lead. Here it comes. Swung on and hit off the end of the bat towards second. Gobbled up there by Ballard and throws him out. 1 up and 1 away, and the batter will be Garcia, the DH.
Hustle, tack, we'll be backing up.
Brian
Now
induced,
batting the DH, John Garcia.
Brian induced Stevens to take the big cut, but got it off the end of his bat. No power out there and just rolled it out to Ballard. So there's swung on and hit 1 hop back to Brian. He flips it over to first in the dirt, and safe at first is Garcia. So that'll be an error on Blanchard, the pitcher. Had plenty of time, threw it in the dirt. Burner did a good job to block it out in front. But it bounced too far away from him, and Lakeview was not able to recover and get it back to him. The second baseman, Ballard, was coming over, but he could not retrieve and get it to Burner. So it'll be an error on Blanchard. The runner at first with 1 out. And the batter now is Leo, the right fielder. Outside for ball. 1 ball, no strike.
And the rain's starting to come again.
Well, I think we're going to have to just deal with it today. In hopes of trying to get this game in. Quick throw there by Blanchard. Brian has several moves, and that quick one can be effective. 1 ball, no strikes. Way outside, 2-0. Them 2 pitches missed by quite a bit. Hopefully Brian's not upset with himself here. Gotta be careful. Keep your composure. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. Poured that one in there.
Sometimes a player can be his own worst enemy. He can just beat himself up mentally for making a silly mistake, and it will cause other mistakes down the road. He needs to just let it go.
2-1. 3-1 now.
Just needs to settle down and put it behind him. And he's going to have plenty of other opportunities to make big plays in this game.
Brian did the set. He comes home with it. Swing and a miss there by Gerard Leo. Good pitch there. Leo might have helped him out a little bit. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on the right fielder for Delton. Brian comes home and is fouled back. Garcia was not running there on that 3-2 pitch with 1 out. Tall, rangy right-hander here. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground towards Ballard. At second, now Blanchard picks it up, and nobody can make a play. That ball just died in that wet grass. I think in the normal conditions, Ballard would have been able to field that, but it just died out there. Go as an infield hit. Infielders may consider playing a little bit in, because I tell you, this ground has taken a lot of rain in the last couple of days, and them balls are just not getting out there to them. Strike. Good pitch there by Blanchard. This is Bordeaux, the pitcher for Delton, and here comes the rain again.
In a big way.
Delton with 2 runners on, and only 1 out, and they have not hit the ball beyond the pitcher. Good pitch there by Bryan as he broke that one off in the dirt. Bordeaux helped him out swinging. It's 0-2 now.
And that was a tough break for Lakeview, that last at-bat, that little roller, because he made a nice pitch, and it's just one of those plays.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Bordeaux goes down on strike, so Blanchard takes care of his counterpart himself. And the batter now is Zach Dudley, the third baseman.
Now batting, third baseman Zach Dudley.
Bryan with the set and the pitch. Straight. Bryan working ahead. Dudley looking down there, getting that sign from the third base coach. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Zach, and that's in there for a strike ball. Gets away a little bit from Tack, but he retrieves it, no damage. 0-2 now on Dudley. Edgel playing deep at third. Lakeview back all the way around. Swing and a foul tip held on to by Tack, and the inning is over. So Delton doesn't score. They get a run, no runs on one hit, one error, 2 left.
2 men left on base. 2 up for the
At the end of
Spartans.
2, it's 3-0 Battle Creek Lakeview.
Standing sportsmanship at this
Here we go to the
Lakeview
third
District
inning.
52 tournament will be recognized. Remember,
Calvin Berner to lead off for Lakeview.
Important lesson taught in the athletic classroom, and good sports are winners.
First pitch to Calvin's in the dirt
Now
for a
batting,
ball.
Calvin Berner.
1 ball, no strikes on Calvin. Calvin, big, tall, strong first baseman for Lakeview. Takes it in the dirt, ball 2, 2-0. Not in the dirt, but low and outside. Calvin taking over for Brian Rickey, who had played down the first couple years for Lakeview. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Strike. 2 balls, 1 strike on Calvin. Berner popped to the mound in the first inning, swings and hits one foul over the screen here. 2-2 now on Calvin, and ooh, that sounded like it might have got a car. Two balls, 2 strikes now on Calvin. And Bordeaux steps off the mound. He's ready to go to work again. Here it comes. Straight strike, call Berner. Took a curveball, and he's called out on strikes. Batter will now be Edgel for the Spartans. Dusty got hit by
Now
the pitch
batting
in the
number
first.
2, third baseman Dusty Edgel.
Dusty's a scrapper. He'll get on base any way he can.
Got a nice swing on him. Short, compact. I like his swing.
Strike call. Good pitch there by Bordeaux. Hit that inside corner. Oh, 1 pitch is in the dirt. Dusty laid off that one. 1-1 now on Dust. 1 out in the third. Lakeview Spartans on top 3-0. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a curveball. Had Dusty ducking on that one, but bending across the plate beautifully. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one is bending outside. 2-2. Now, that's hard to lay off that pitch after you've had one bend in over on you.
Yep. Good job by Dusty.
Here's the 2-2, and that's not that close. It's full count now on Edgel. Here's Here's the full count pitch. Another curve hit on the ground to third. High hop to the third baseman. His throw to first in time to get Dusty. Dusty out. Dudley to Stevens. So 2 up and 2 away for Lakeview. And their batter will be John Drakakis.
Now batting left fielder John Yurkakis.
John batting .368 in his short stint up here on the varsity. Left-handed batter. Takes the curveball outside. So obviously Bordeaux is primarily a curveball pitcher. But he's got a good one. When he gets it going, it can be tough. Ooh, checked his swing, and home plate umpire said he went across. 1 ball, 1 strike on Drakakis. Catcher Jay Tack on deck. That one's way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Drakakis. 2-1 pitches in there. 2-2. Another good curveball. Drakakis gave up on that one, but it bent across, backdoor style. 2-2 pitch swung on and hit on the ground towards second. Charged by the second baseman. The throw to first is in time. Spartans go down 1-2-3 at the end of 2.5. It's Lakeview 3, Delton nothing.
Newington, Sharon West.
Be Newington lead off for Delton. Newington, Sharon, and West. Good job by Brian Blanchard of the Spartans, working his way out of trouble last inning.
Leading off the bottom of the third for the Panthers, Corey Newington.
Delton had runners reach first and second with only 1 out, but Brian Cade the next 2 men. First pitch of the third, curveball low for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Newington, the second baseman for Delton. 1-0 pitch, high for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes on Newington. Here's the wind in the pitch. Strike there. Good pitch there by Brian. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, Delton would love to get this leadoff man aboard. Number 9 hitter, down 3-0.
Thank you. Thanks for checking. You guys need anything?
2-1 pitch on its way, and that's outside, so it's 3-1 now on Newington. See if the Delton coach gives Newington the green light here on 3-1, down by 3, nobody on base. He swings and fouls it off the mid of Tack. Count goes full. Looks like the wind is blowing from the right field pole to the left. Start of the game. Here's the full count pitch. Swing and a miss by Newington, and he goes down on strike. Another good pitch by Bryant.
Yes, it was. Got him to chase something outside the strike zone. Started on the outside corner, and then it bended out to the outside. There's no way he could have touched that one. Great pitch.
Now batting catcher J.T. Sharon.
It's 3 strikeouts in a row for Brian Blanchard. Sharon, the leadoff man, steps in for Delton and takes it on the corner. Another good pitch by Brian Blanchard.
Looks like he's on top of his game today.
Yes, it does. I tell you, Brian has his control. He can be very effective.
Mm-hmm.
The 0-1 pitch. That one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Edgel, Tahara, Ballard, and Berner around the diamond for Lakeview. Here's the 1-1 pitch.
Nice.
Sharon takes a stride. 1 ball, 2 strikes. JT checked to swing, but got the call strike anyway.
Nice time to come in on him.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on one towards the outside.
Or go in. Or out.
And Sharon goes down on strikes. That is 4 strikeouts in a row for Blanchard.
Now batting shortstop Jamie West.
All of them swinging. He's really got that breaking pitch breaking down and away to these right-handed
Yeah,
batters.
he's really making the outside corner work for him.
Batter is Jamie West, the shortstop. He took a call third strike back in the first. Brian has 6 strikeouts already, and we're still in the third inning. Swung on, hit towards the right side over his Ballard. He's got it on the outfield grass, flips the burner. Good play by Lakeview, and that retires the side. Nothing across for the Panthers. At the end of 3, it's Lakeview 3, Delton nothing.
Tack back Ballard.
Go to the 4th inning. Game's clipping along at a pretty good pace, and it needs to, because this weather is threatening all the time.
For the Spartans. Catcher Jay Tack.
It'll be Jay Tack, followed by Chris Beck, and then the top of the order, Ballard. Tack takes it inside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Jay walked back in the second. He went around, tried to check his swing, could not. And that curve ball bending down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike on the Lakeview catcher. Bordeaux working quickly and throws another one in the dirt. Jay lays off this one, count goes 2-1. Swung on, hit on the ground towards short, high hop to the shortstop. Over to first for the out. So Tack goes out west to Stevens. 1 up and 1 away for Lakeview.
That took the candy hop for the shortstop. Those are not the toughest to field. I've seen a lot of those candy hops over here at Lakeview.
Right fielder number
They have
12.
that ridge
Chris Beck.
right at the lip of the infield, and if it hits that at the right time, it'll pop up for the shortstop. Makes it for an easy play.
First pitch to Beck is outside. At the same token, if that infielder's playing in, it can take your head off. I've seen that here too.
That too.
I think the infielder overall would rather not have the ridge there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're
Swing
right.
and a miss. Big swing by Beck, but he couldn't catch up to it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yep, there's 2 sides to that candy hop. It's either a candy hop or
I think,
demolition hop.
speaking as a parent of an infielder, I'd rather not have the ridge there.
Yeah.
But it does make it interesting. 2-1 now on Beck. Beck had a sacrifice bunt back in the second. It was an outstanding bunt, but unfortunately for the Spartans, it ended up into a strange double play. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike now on Beck. Beck almost beat the bunt out for a hit. It was a great play by Bordeaux, the pitcher for Delton, to get him at first. Here's the 3-1, and it's in the dirt, ball 4. So Beck takes first. But Damon, who was courtesy running for the catcher Tack, tried to go all the way to third, and he was nailed at third
Now
on a
batting
fine
number
throw
7, Frankie
by
Ballard.
Stevens, the first baseman for Delton. So runner at first with 1 out for Lakeview. Strike call. Ballard walked in the first and singled in the second. Scored 2 runs already today, and he swings and hits one in the air to center field. Well hit. Way back goes the center fielder. Way back, and this one is gone. Frank Ballard has just hit one out of here to the deepest part of the ballpark, and the Spartans are now on top 5-0. He hit that one directly over the 365 sign and straight away center field, and he got all of that one. And the Spartans are now on top 5-0. For Ballard, that is his 2nd home run of the year, gives him 17 RBIs. And just like that, Lakeview has put a quick 2 on the board. A walk to Beck, and Ballard
Now batting shortstop.
hammering one over that
Tahara.
center field fence. Tahara's the batter now. He swings and pops it up, second baseman calling for it. Newington gloves it for the out. So Tahara's out, first ball hitting. And that'll bring up Lozier. Mike Lozier today, a 2-run single in the first. He was hit
Center
by the
fielder, Mike
pitch
Lozier.
in the second. Lozier, an all-conference center fielder 2 years in a row here for Lakeview. Strike call to Mike. Mike also pitched the state championship game last year. Here's the pitch to Mike. That one hangs outside. Heck of a way for the legendary Butch Perry to end his fabulous career with the state championship. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Mike. He swings and misses. Big swing there for Mike. Couldn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lozier. Here's the 1-2, swung on, popped up, foul ball, and off the screen. Catcher giving chase, but he had no chance of that as it hit high off the backstop here. Count remains 1-2 on Mike. Two outs, nobody on for Lakeview, but they've scored 2 in this inning already. Here's the 1-2 pitch, outside. Mike laying off that outside curveball. Count goes 2-2. That ball by Ballard hit to straightaway center field. Cleared that fence in good shape. Swing and a miss by Lozier. He goes down, but Spartans score 2 more. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Score Lakeview 5, Delton nothing.
For the Panthers. Gilfillan, inning. Center fielder Chris Gilfillan.
So it'll be Chris Gilfillan leading off for Delton. Lakeview on top now 5-0, and it looks like a little sunshine trying to break through here in the bottom of the 4th. Swung on, hit on the ground to 3rd. Good play there by Dusty Edgell. His throw is pulled down by Berner. 1 up and 1 away. Gilfillan out, first ball hit. Batter now will be Stevens, the first baseman.
The next batter, first baseman Judd Stevens.
Tell you, 1st and 3rd at Lakeview is where it can get kind of interesting for the fielders with that ridge. They can get that high hop and come up at their face in a hurry. Ball outside. You got to give them guys a lot of credit for hanging in there. Good play there by Edgell. Swing and a miss. Stevens looked like halfway through that swing he was kind of wishing he wasn't doing it, but 1 ball, 1 strike on the Delton first baseman. Blanchard to the plate. Curveball bends in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Stevens. Ryan with the wind, and he delivers. And that one's way outside. Tack diving out there to stop it. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Stevens. Stevens grounded to 2nd his first time up. Waiting on the 2-2 pitch from Blanchard. Just high. Ooh, that was close. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Stevens.
Kind of a close pitch to be taken with 2 strikes on you.
6 strikeouts already today for Blanchard, and that one's outside, so Stevens draws a walk.
But it worked for him.
And the batter would be Garcia. Garcia was safe on an error back in the 2nd.
Now batting the DH, John Garcia.
Hit an easy 1-hopper back to the mound. Brian fielded it and calmly threw it in the dirt over there. Berner was lucky to block it. Delton mounted a rally in the 2nd, but it didn't amount to anything. They had 1st and 2nd, 1 out. There's one fouled back by Garcia. Got 1st and 2nd with only 1 out, but Brian took care of matters in his own hands by striking out the next 2 batters. Pitch is in the dirt. Count goes 1-1 on Garcia. Tough to get a lead off on Brian Blanchard. He's got several moves over there at first base. Gives catcher Jay Tack a better chance, and there's one over to 1st. Just a token toss. Gives Tack a good chance to throw somebody out if they should decide to run, because they just don't have a very big lead. There's one in the dirt, blocked out in front by Tack. Good play by Jay. Tack's done a good job this year. He watched Jared Van Nortwick catch for Lakeview. He had caught here at the varsity level for 3 years. There goes the runner, swing and a miss. Tack's throw to 2nd, and nobody covering there. And he is safe with a stolen base. Tack came up throwing, and there wasn't nobody there, and I think he took a little bit off it and one-hopped it up there. He's already in the motion to throw, but it's tough for an infielder to put a tag on a runner sliding into second when they're not covering the bag. And another good stop by Tag. So the count goes full now, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Garcia. Surprised to see that runner going, trailing by 5, especially against the lefty, but it worked out for him. Caught Lakeview by surprise too. Swing and a miss by Garcia. He goes down on strikes. 7 strikeouts now for Brian
Right
Blanchard.
fielder, Jared Leo.
6 of them swinging. Jared Leo, the tall right fielder for Delton, stepping in. Jared had an infield single back in the second. There's a pop fly, first base side. First baseman Burner calls for it, gloves it, and that retires the
For
side.
the Panthers, no runs
Nothing
on
across
no
for
hits,
Delton.
one
We
man
go to the
left on
5th inning.
base.
The score,
2
Lakeview
up for the
5,
Spartans, Blanchard,
Delton nothing.
Burner, Edgel. The pitcher, Brian Blanchard.
Brian Blanchard leading off for the Lakeview. He is 0 for 2 today. Takes it low for ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Brian is popped to first and flied to center in his 2 at-bats. Pitched an outstanding game from the mound, though. Here's the second pitch to Brian, hit in the air towards left field. Left fielder Pinks calls for it, and he has it for the out. So 1 up and 1 away for Lakeview. That'll bring up Calvin Burner. Calvin today is 0
Now
for 2.
batting first baseman Calvin Burner.
Pop to the pitcher. Good play by Bordeaux back in the first on him, and then he took a call third in the third. And he takes another call strike there, 0-1 on Burner. Burner will be followed by Edgel. Curveball there in the dirt. Calvin lays off 1-1. Third baseman playing deep on the big first baseman for Lakeview. He's not a bunt threat, but he is a home run threat, and he drives that one into right center field for a base hit. Over to field the ball is the right fielder Leo. He gets it back into the second baseman. So Burner's on with his first hit of the day. And it'll be Dusty Edgel. Dusty was hit by the pitch back in the
Now
first.
batting third baseman Dusty Edgel.
Grounded to third in the third. 0 for 1 officially today for Dusty. This is a good time for Lakeview. Dusty, a good runner. Runner at first. 1 out. Nope, he's taking 1 for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Lakeview likes to bunt. Butch Perry used to do a lot of bunting. He was very good at teaching the fundamentals here at Lakeview, and that's carried over with Coach Roth. Hit 1 hop over the third baseman's head into left field. It'll be a base hit for Edgel as Burner holds it second. 1 big high hop off the dirt there, and the third baseman Dudley went as high as he could, but he could not pull it down, so Edgel's first hit of the day.
Left fielder John Drakakis.
The batter will be John Drakakis. He has twice grounded out to second base, and both times it's ended the inning for Lakeview, in the first and the third. And the sun is now really starting to break out. We can use that there. Swung on, hit back to the mound. Bordeaux throws it in the dirt, and everybody's going to be safe. And holding at third will be Burner.
Excuse me, I was just going to say, pitcher got that so fast. Usually when a ground ball goes back to the pitcher and it's double play opportunity, you got to wait a second for that infielder to get over to second base. Just take a couple, just get yourself under control, let the shortstop come over, get to the bag.
Now batting the catcher,
and,
Jay
that
Tack.
way it's a lot more smoother. He just threw it right as soon as he had it, and that's what caused the error. There was nobody there to cover.
Bases loaded now for Lakeview. Strike call. Yeah, Burner looked like when he threw it, he tried to take something off it to let that shortstop get there in time, and what he did was throw it right in the dirt. Good
He
call
wanted to
there,
hold it
Keith.
back.
Bases loaded, swing and a miss on Tack. So bases loaded, 1 out. 2 quick strikes, though, on the Lakeview catcher. He needs to put this ball in play. Delton with the infield pulled into the grass all the way around. Popped up, foul ball over the booth. Count remains 0-2 on Tack. Bases loaded with Spartans. They're already up by 5. Tack batting with 1 out, and he takes one in the dirt. Good patience there by Jay. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sometimes a batter gets anxious in this situation, but he showed good patience there, holding off that pitch. There's one he takes on the corner, and Tack is called out on strikes. Good pitch there by Bordeaux. That'll leave it up to Chris Beck.
Chris Beck.
Chris has not had an official at-bat. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd and walked and scored back in the 4th. Bases loaded, 2 out. Delton with the infield back now. Chris with a good swing and fouls it back, strike 1. Ready to go again. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Chris takes it in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if Delton has any hope, they have got to find a way to get Mr. Beck out here, because if Chris can come through, just might be the final nail in the coffin. He swings and fouls one back, and boy, if that didn't sound like
Right
it
off
got
the
a
hood.
car.
Right off the hood. One of those white minivans over there.
Always amazing that many people park that close to a baseball diamond. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Beck. Swings and fouls it off down the first base side.
They're always there, though.
I like to get early to the ballpark and park a long ways away.
That formula worked for you there, Hoss?
Yes, it has. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Chris. Swung on line, shot, off the glove of the shortstop into left field. 1 run is in and around 3rd. And coming in is Edgel, and he'll score on the 2-run single by Beck, and it's now 7-0 Lakeview. Chris Beck coming through with a solid 2-run single here, a line shot, good effort there by West. Went as high as he could, just off the fingertips. And 2 more runs in for Lakeview, and now it's a 7-0 ball game.
Huge hit by Beck in an effort to put these guys away.
I tell you, you don't want to be selfish here, but a mercy game is nice when you're in the dirt. There's one in the dirt, and moving up are the runners. 2nd and 3rd now for Lakeview. You'd like to get these mercy games and save the pitching. It isn't that you want to humiliate another team, but you get in these tournaments, and now it's for all the marbles. The sooner you can get it in and get it done with and save the pitchers for another day, the better off you are. You got the weather threatening the way it has all day here today is another good reason. On the corner, strike 1 to Ballard. Well, Ballard not had a bad day here today. Walked in the 1st and scored. Singled in the 2nd for an RBI and hammered a 2-run homer his last trip. There's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Lakeview 2nd baseman. 1-2 pitch to Frank, swung on and hit in the air to center field. He's going back. He's not going to get this one. This one is gone also. Frank Ballard has just hit another one out of here. A 3-run homer, and Lakeview has a 10-0 lead.
They can hold them. That's the ball game.
That one I didn't think would make it over the fence when he hit it. A 3-run homer by Ballard. He hit it well. There is a strong wind blowing out the left center, and Frank used that one. And Lakeview now on top 10-0.
Ballard is having a day.
6 RBIs today for the Lakeview 2nd baseman. Second basemans are not to have multi-homer games. They're supposed to be the Punch and Judy hitters. Somebody forgot to tell Frank Ballard that. Here's Yo Tahara getting caught up in the celebration. He forgot that it's his turn to bat. The whole Lakeview team out there
the shortstop, Yo Tahara.
to congratulate Frank Ballard on that home run, and Yo went back to the dugout with his teammates. Somebody said, "Get a stick out there, Yo. It's your time." Up high, ball one. A 3-run homer. Lakeview now has that 10-run cushion if Blanchard can hold him. And look out, yo. Inside. 2-0. 6 RBIs for the Lakeview second baseman today and 3 runs scored. There's one in the dirt. 3-0 on Tahara. That wind is blowing very strong right now, right out there towards left center, and that one's inside, ball 4. So Tahara drops the bat, takes his base at first base. Bordeaux missed on 4 straight there, and time is called. And out to the mound comes the Delton coach again. Batter is Mike Lozier. Mike today had a 2-run single back in the first, hit by the pitch in the second, and struck out swinging in the 4th. Ended the 4th inning, and he's batting with 2 outs now in the 5th.
Now batting center fielder Mike Lozier.
So here's Lozier batting. 2 outs with the runner at first, trying to keep it going. In the dirt, ball 1 on Mike. Turn to throw to first, and Tahara back with a head first slide. 10-0 Lakeview on top. It's been the Brian Blanchard, Frank Ballard show, and there's one off the mid of the catcher and down to second with good heads-up base running is Yo Tahara. Look out, Yo. Yo going in standing up, and the way he had to stop there, it's a way to pull a hamstring, especially in this cold weather. We've got another game to play here today, Yo. Here's the 2-0 pitch, swung on and hit off the fist, and that's going to be in the left field. Tahara's around third. He's going to score on the RBI single by Lozier, and it's 11-0 now, Lakeview. Mike has 3 RBIs, and the batter is the pitcher Blanchard.
Now batting the pitcher Brian Blanchard.
Good piece of hitting there by Mike. Got it on the inside, but he fought it off and got it into left field. And there is time called, and we're going to have a pitching change.
Short swing and a pitch. Third swing was short. Pitch was going and the outfielders are all
Looks like Jamie West, number 5, who was playing short, is going to come in and try and hold off this Lakeview surge in the 5th. There's 2 outs, and Lakeview has exploded. Frank Ballard has hit back-to-back home runs. He has had 6 RBIs. Having himself quite a day. The second baseman is.
Defensive changes for the Panthers, now pitching Jamie West. Pitcher Steve Bordeaux moves to third base, and Zach Dudley will move to short. This year, the Good Sports or Winners Award returns to honor those teams displaying good sportsmanship at selected MHSAA tournaments. Over 1,000 awards
Well,
will be
Lakeview's
presented
the
this
team
year
with
by
the
Little
pressure
Caesars
on them
Pizza.
this district. They're
Each qualifying school displaying
they're expected to do a lot. They're returning
district
state
tournament
champions from
will be
last year.
recognized. Remember,
Delton, there's no
sportsmanship
pressure
is the
on
most
them.
important
Nobody expects
lesson
them to
taught
do
in the
anything.
athletic classroom.
But it looks like
Good
Lakeview's the
sports
one that's
are
playing
winners.
loose.
Yep, they've taken care of business today, and that's what you want to do when you're the favorite. Get on top, pour it on. Again, it's not that you want to embarrass
Now batting,
anybody, but
Brian Blanchard.
you got to take care of business and
Yep.
get to that second round.
That's right.
New pitcher delivers low for a ball to Blanchard.
Kind of like to save these hits, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, we've got the mercy, but as long as they hold them to 1 run in the 5th, got to save them for the next.
West turns and throws to first. Get these defensive changes for you. West this came in from shortstop to pitch. Pitcher Bordeaux went to third, and Dudley, the third baseman, went to short. 11-0 Lakeview on top, and another quick throw to first. Back in time is Lozier. Like a threat to steal. Doesn't go, takes it outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes on Blanchard. That's what the scoreboard said. It might be 3-0. Swing and drive to left. Left fielder is right there. Pinks puts it away. Well hit by Blanchard. But the Lakeview Spartans are out, but the Spartans have scored 3 more. Or no, 6 more.
5 hits. There's 1 error, 1 man left on
6
base.
runs, and we go to the bottom of the 5th to score. Lakeview 5, or Lakeview 11. Delton nothing.
Yeah, we're not going to bring that up. At least the second one gets it.
Well, I tell you, the Spartans, again, are taking care of business here. It's what you want, what you'd expect from a senior-oriented team. Frank Ballard, the second baseman, is hammered 2 home runs today and a single to go along with his walk. He scored 3 runs, driven in 6. Brian Blanchard from the mound has struck out 2, 3. We have Brian down for, I believe, 7 strikeouts. Yes, 7 strikeouts. So between Blanchard and Ballard, the BB guns have been firing here for Lakeview. Shotgun, more or less, I would say. And they're on top 11-0. If Brian can hold Delton to just 1 run here in the 5th, then we'll be done after 5. And maybe we'll get this championship game in here today as it yet. Earlier in the day, it just looked like no way it was going to happen, as Gull Lake had to have 2 different delays for lightning. It's been raining on and off, and the sky's been threatening most of the day. We've been saved partially just by this Lakeview Diamond. They have this crushed stone out here. It drains well. It can take a lot of weather. And you'd like to get these district games in when they're supposed to be. Not give anybody an advantage of having to play only 1 game of a rain, because of a rain delay, and somebody else has to win 2. Here's the first pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Be Bordeaux, Dudley, and Newington.
Yeah, Blanchard just wants to come right at these guys.
Make them hit their way on. Here's one in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan's had real good control today. Walked just 1 Panther. Go with them 7 strikeouts. Swing and a miss.
Not pitch.
Good pitch there by Brian Blanchard. One ball, 2 strikes. Bordeaux, the third baseman now for Delton. Swing and a miss on 1 towards the outside. Bordeaux goes out on strikes. 8 strikeouts today for Brian Blanchard. Batter will be Dudley, the third
Now
baseman.
batting Zach Dudley.
Zach today is 0 for 2. He has 1 of them 8 strikeouts by Brian. Ball 1 in the dirt. Dudley has moved over to shortstop now that West has came in to pitch for the Panthers. Swung on, foul ball, back against the screen, 1-1 on Dudley. Well, we've lost our sunshine that we had. The wind still blowing out towards left center, not quite as strong as it was a little while ago. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that's in the dirt. Jay Tack took that one off the hands.
Yeah, he did.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Those catchers are tough.
Got to be
Hard
tough.
Gotta be a little crazy too to be back there.
That might be why they call it the tools of ignorance back there. But Jay is as tough as they come. Swing on and hit towards the first baseman. Burner has it. 2 up and 2 away for Delton. 1 more and it'll be the ball game. It'll be Newington, the second baseman.
Now batting second baseman Corey Newington.
He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. Boy, Brian Blanchard has just done a terrific job. There's one in the dirt, ball 1. Brian on top of the game today. His only trouble he had back in the second was some of his own doing on an error that he caused. There's one hit on the ground. Tahara has it at short to throw to Burner for the out, and the inning and the game is over. Nothing across for Delton here in the 5th. The final score in game 1 for Delton. Or for Lakeview, it's Lakeview 11, Delton nothing. And Lakeview will be playing Gull Lake in the championship game, and your Access Vision channel will be bringing that one to you shortly. Once again, here the final score: Lakeview 11, Delton
Total
nothing.
for the game. The Panthers, no runs on